Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome back to the Grateful Living podcast. I am here with Caroline Portu.
Fine.
Caroline,
Hmm.
sorry, my bad. And she is a actress, model, and comedian.
Yeah.
Cool.
Singer.
And singer. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So, can you take us back to the beginning, like where you grew up, maybe
Sure.
your
Is this
family.
live? This is live right now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I grew up in New Hampshire. I have lived there since I was 6. And then I kind of like did theater, choir, all that stuff, through middle school, through high school. In high school, I was super involved in school, but there was a little theater, professional theater in my town or in the neighboring town called the Seacoast Repertory Theater, which is where I kind of started doing a lot of stuff. And then I was part of a small agency in New Hampshire, and then I ended up joining an agency in Boston. So I got cast in like a pilot when I was 18. And yeah, I guess I've just kind of been doing it since then.
What were your parents at all involved with theater?
Mm-mm.
What got
They
you
knew-
into
I think
theater at a
they
young age?
knew I was interested in it, and I think they wanted to help me kind of pursue it. But I almost went to school for like musical theater and a conservatory program, and they said don't do that, and they actually were very much against that idea because I was very academic as a kid, and and in high school, and so I think they kind of wanted to push me toward a more liberal arts themed education, which is what BC was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I guess so you went to BC like knowing you wanted to do theater, or was it
Yeah, I
maybe I'll do theater and or
No, I knew I wanted to do theater, and then which is interesting because BC doesn't have like a. It's very liberal arts-esque in that when you do study theater, it's not the study of the performance and the craft necessarily. It's more the study of the overall kind of history and yeah, and just like I guess like a comprehensive like glance at the art itself. So I did that, and then I started singing in this professionally when I was 19 in this group around Boston, and then I started singing with this other band when I was 20 that I'm still singing with.
yeah.
So I kind of just thought like if I went to BC and got really involved in everything and used Boston to my advantage, then it would be almost like I was, at a conservatory program in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How did you the singing group you joined at 19, how did you hear about that? How did that
I did this thing freshman year called BC Idol, and then I won that. And so then there was a guy there who ran the program. It was called the Beantown Swing Orchestra, and his name was Frank. He was a lovely guy, and he also did I think played music at like the swing events that BC hosted,
yeah.
and so he was at BC Idol and asked me if I would be interested in like auditioning for their group, and then I did, and so then I sang with them for a while, and then got picked up by this other group.
Awesome, awesome. So what's the group that you joined at
I
19?
joined a group called Hudson, and that's the name of my band, and the company is called Night Shift Entertainment.
Cool.
And it's a great company. I love them. Everyone is way more talented than I am who sings and plays. They're like incredible, incredible musicians, and they're all very lovely people. Um, and I've been doing that for, I guess, like 6 years, almost 6 years now.
Wow. Where do you guys perform?
All around Boston, kind of like the Northeast in general. Like we've gone to New York and Pennsylvania, but it's mostly like Connecticut, New Hampshire, Boston, that kind of area.
Are you doing a lot of songwriting for them?
No. It's cover band stuff. So
Oh,
I only do for them. It's like weddings, corporate events, stuff like that.
gotcha.
Hmm.
Um, I guess so then at what point did you decide to start going like and auditioning for like films and movies?
I started doing that when I was probably 17,
Oh,
and so and then I did a pilot when I was 18, and then I just kind of did school for a while, and then it was kind of a weird thing because was presented with a few opportunities where I probably could have left school, but I didn't, and which, has worked out the way it's worked out. And I'm not sure if that was always the right decision or not, but it definitely, I love school. I think it was really important to receive that kind of fundamental education. But I do think it probably slowed me down in a way, comparatively to other people. But yeah, so then I did, but I started to really get cast in stuff when I was like 23. So after I graduated, I got cast in like a lot of movies or a few movies, and then like some other kind of piloty stuff. And now I'm just at the point where I'm like starting to get lead roles, which is great, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Talk. What at what point did you join the Maggie Agency?
I think when I was like maybe 19.
Okay, and how did that process go?
Well, you just have to submit your stuff to them. And I had been with another agency prior to that, and I just wanted to be in Boston. And with this agency, Maggie is a great agency, and Casey is the guy who runs it, who's unbelievable and so large and in charge. And so yeah, I just submitted my materials to them, and then had a meeting and went in. And I think they're, especially, that many years ago, were primarily a modeling agency, which I am not a model primarily. So I kind of just pushed the fact that I wanted to do the acting stuff, and they were very responsive, and so they helped me out with that quite a bit.
Awesome.
Hmm.
So with the, I saw that you were in I Feel Pretty
Hmm.
in 2018.
Hmm.
That was with Amy Schumer.
Hmm.
What was that audition process like? And
That audition process actually was crazy because, well, first of all, let me say that I was cut from that movie except for the director's cut. I'm not in that film unless I'm in the director's cut. Yeah.
um,
So, which is funny because it was like it took it was a whole day of filming. But, um, so what happened? They couldn't find this girl. It was like so weird. It was for this character. The original name of the character was Tattoo Girl, and they were like going to put a tattoo on me and like whatever. And then I went in, I had no tattoos, obviously. And they were like, this is good, I guess. They were like, good enough. And so, but they had so many girls, and I went in for that movie so many times for different roles.
yeah.
And then, like, probably 5 times. And I was living in New York. So I had to drive in to Boston five
Oh,
times to
oh, no.
get that role, which
Yeah,
was, what I mean? Just like silly
yeah,
stuff. But and then it was just a day of like improving on set with Amy Schumer, which was fun.
yeah, yeah. What was? Were you able to talk to her at all?
Yeah, I did talk to her a bit. She's exactly like what you think she is. She's like so funny and um so funny, like boss lady, like crass and awesome. And yeah, it was really fun.
Do you get nervous at that point? I know you've been doing theater for a long time, but
I get nervous at different points. I mean, I get nervous when there's like a lot at stake, I think. But I don't really get nervous going in for an audition anymore. Unless I also know a lot of the like casting people now, whereas before I didn't. And so I think it's just proving yourself in general can be kind of exhausting. And so I think at the beginning you obviously have that kind of nervous energy when you're trying to show somebody that you um,
can do it.
can do the job. But also what's interesting and kind of contradictory about acting is that you don't necessarily want to be showing them. So you just have to walk in and do it. And if you show them too much, then you're actually a bad actor. So it's kind of it's a fine line.
How are you just going to these auditions on yourself, or is Maggie helping? Like,
Yeah, that's what they do. So
okay,
an agent like will basically they'll send you notices of like what they think you are right for, and then I'll go in for that audition or whatever it is. But now I also like directors will kind of just reach out to me in general because I've been in a few movies with several of them, and so we just have kind of a person to person basis. So it's a little bit of both.
yeah. And then I saw you were in Blood and
Funny.
Money.
Mhm.
How was that?
It was quick. It was like that movie is I'm in it for like 30 seconds. And but it was cool. It was like a really lovely cast. This guy named John Barr who I think this might have been, I don't want to get this wrong, but I think it was his first feature.
Mm.
And yeah, and it was just like, it was dramatic. I just, for the audition, I just had to like pretend I was shot and crawl on the floor
Yeah.
of an office, and like spit up blood. And then they were like, great, this works. So yeah, it was quick, but I was just like lying in the snow all day, like with scuba gear under my pants, basically.
Were you able to see Tom Berenger?
Yeah, we hung out for a night and like got drink. I don't drink, but I like got water while he like got a whiskey or something.
Is it cool to like see those people that you like look up to like live like on set and
Yeah,
just
I mean, I think like um yeah. I met Diane Keaton this year because I did a movie with her that I hasn't come out yet.
yeah,
And that was like the most, and I met Diane Keaton and I think Carol Kane were the two that I was like, wow, like these are two people that, and I spent a lot of time with Carol Kane. She was really lovely and had a lot of great information to give because she's kind of like this iconic in this business. But so yeah, it is always, but it's also like, everyone's just a person.
yeah,
They've just been in the business for longer, which is great. But I don't, it's never like, I don't feel super awestruck. But the only person I felt super awestruck by once was Sarah Bareilles, who I saw in Forever 21,
yeah,
because I love, 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 love her. And it was just like, it was a bump in. It wasn't like we're working together professionally.
yeah. That's cool.
Hmm.
And so you've also been doing some comedy shows with Marty
Marty.
Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, Marty is one of my best friends from camp,
Okay.
from childhood camp.
Yeah.
And so we have a comedy show in Brooklyn called Carol and Mart, and it's musical comedy. And so we write these comedic songs and then we put them up every month in Williamsburg, usually at this place called Gran Torino.
Yeah. That's
Hmm. Yeah, it's fun.
awesome. How do you? Uh, well, I guess what's the hardest uh, part about your life right now, and the life of being, an actress, model, comedian,
The
singer?
hardest part, as in like specifically with the quarantine circumstance.
I mean, I guess before the quarantine, then maybe well after, like,
Um,
just
well, I think like the hardest part for me is that I'm kind of a control freak. And so to have other people kind of determine what you're going to be cast in or like if you're right for this part can be challenging, just to your ego and just to like what I think you want and plan. And like if you're a planner too, which I totally am, I totally thrive with structure. There's none of that because I could get a job tomorrow or that lasts me 6 months, or I couldn't, and then it's on to the next. So I think that's been something that I've really had to, it's something I've struggled with for sure. And it's something that I have needed to work at to get over. So yeah, I think that's probably the most challenging thing. And with the quarantine thing, I'm so fortunate that I can be in my parents' house and just hang with them. And I also like creating stuff so much that I haven't felt bored at all. Like because I love writing music and I love practicing music and I love creating sketches and there's always new content for that, even if it's the
yeah,
same thing all the time. So I haven't felt challenged by the quarantine. However, I don't know when production is going to resume where I can like get paid. All my paying jobs, like I'm on unemployment right now because
yeah,
all
yeah,
my
yeah,
paying jobs are, you have to be with lots of people. Like you have to
yeah,
perform in front of people, or you have to be on a set with lots of people,
yeah,
or you have to be on a stage where people come to see you. So it's like, it's all very people in a crowd centric.
yeah, yeah. I think I heard that Tyler Perry was trying to shoot his TV show in Atlanta this summer, but like that they're literally gonna like quarantine like everybody that's part of the set is literally gonna like I guess they're gonna like live together for like
Yeah.
2 months. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I think I was talking about, so I have been writing this movie with one of my old directors, and I don't know if it's going to get picked up or not, but we were trying to do it. He was thinking, we would maybe do it in the summer, but it's just like that we just don't know.
yeah,
You just have no idea.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So have you been focusing on the like YouTube sketches that you do and the singing more?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, I think Marty and I have been working on a little project that is like a writing show kind of project. And then I've been working on one of those also with another director that I have worked with several times. And then yeah, I've been working on music with one of my very talented production friends. And I have this album that's supposed to come out but has been delayed for a number of reasons, but they can't get into the studio to mix it, so like that's being delayed. So yeah, in the meantime I just kind of have been doing the sketches and like the other writing stuff that I like to do. So
Yeah, yeah.
mhm.
I read that you lost your voice for a time period.
Yeah, where did you read that?
Um, I think it was in your GoFundMe for the
Oh
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's, yeah, a really interesting little tidbit is that I still don't completely have it.
Okay.
It's for the last 3 years I haven't really, it's been unfamiliar to me. And it's been through, and that's also why I had to push the album for a long time.
Yeah,
So it's like for a number of reasons it happens. Like and so that has also been, yeah, I think that's been probably my number one like piece of adversity that I'd have to have had to like try to overcome, because for so long I was like, I'm a singer, I'm a singer, I'm a singer. And I think to kind of challenge your own identity and be like, I don't know if I can even say this about myself anymore, really is like a strange paradigm shifting.
because it's defined you for so long.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been trying to like figure out how to, it's just like a lot of, I've had terrible acid reflux and like a lot of muscle tension. And so to figure out how to kind of like calm that and calm like the nervous system in order to like get that to work again has
Yeah.
been really hard.
How long did you lose it?
I 3 years. I mean, it's still not where I want it to be.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I guess where would you like to? I mean, you're doing a lot. So I just, where do you? What'd be like a perfect day for you in like 5 years?
It's a great question. I like so many things, which is something that I used to think was kind of like a weakness about me in a way, like because I was like I have to focus on one thing because that's how people are good at stuff. But I think I've kind of now seen it as like that's just what I am,
Yeah,
and I won't be able to choose something, and that's fine.
yeah,
Um, so I don't know. I mean, I would love to like write my own show. I would love to be in another show that people write that I think is great. Like I would love to um, be doing. I would love to, be doing. I think I would love to be doing some kind of acting, and then on the side also like have some nights where I can just do a concert. Like I just think that would be really ideal. Um, yeah, but I like. I mean, I really like writing, and I really like making people laugh, and I also really just like music in general. So I think any of those things that would be cool.
yeah. Do you do you want to be in New York, LA,
It
Boston?
doesn't totally matter to me. I mean, I think I'm in New York right now because it's easy to commute to Boston from New York.
Yeah.
I love Los Angeles. I have a ton of friends out there. But I don't think I could go to LA because of the connections I have here until somebody was like, come to LA. We have a job for you.
Yeah.
So I think until that were to happen, I wouldn't go.
Cool, cool.
Yeah.
I guess what's the most satisfying part of your, you know, you going after your dreams? I mean, I think so many people, you know, do a lot of the things that grew up doing theater, maybe did it in college, or were in a cappella groups in college, and then you know chose a more traditional
Career.
corporate job, or and nothing against that.
No.
Um, but as someone who's going after their dreams, what's been have you been able to reflect at all on like the moments of victory, or are you so in it that you can't even?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think like it's important to, I think something that I've realized over time is it's important to like look at those achievements as achievements and be like, you did, that was a bit of a peak, because I am so like go, 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 go that every day I want to do something else new. And so I can very much get caught up in that. And it feels like every achievement is something that I should be doing. It feels like every achievement is something I am supposed to do. And every failure is something that shouldn't have happened. you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So that can be kind of challenging to,
yeah,
again, just get your head around. So it's, yeah, I think it's important to just stop and tell yourself to reflect, which I wasn't good at, and I'm trying to be much better at now. But yeah, I mean, I think I've been presented with opportunities to pursue kind of corporate work through on the sidelines of this kind of business,
yeah,
and I haven't done it. Um, at the end of the day, and there's parts of it that sound appealing to me, really there are,
yeah,
but I think at the end of the day I just know that like my brain doesn't work that way. Like it's so I'm like a creative person. I just know that about myself, and
yeah,
so I can't, if I do limit that, that will inevitably I think lead me to a quotient of unhappiness that is greater than, or what I would be doing otherwise.
yeah, yeah. If you had to give someone that's, looking to do what you're doing, maybe they're 20 years old,
Mhm.
at school studying theater, um, what are some lessons you've learned, maybe skills that they should try to learn in their, in their couple years before they,
Yeah, I
fully
would
pursue.
say trust your gut, maybe play an instrument, practice the instrument. Um, I would say like breathe, and like just don't also I would say you're gonna be on the bottom. Like there's no way that you inevitably won't be on the bottom for a while.
Yeah,
And I am just starting to feel like I am not on the sea level,
yeah,
I'm just starting to feel like I'm kind of swimming a bit.
yeah,
So that will pass. It's a phase. And I think also like enjoy the bottom. That's the other thing. That sounds like a really perverted thing to say, but I'm like, I think like you have to, sometimes when I am like stressed and I'm like, this is not where I should be. I think if I were somewhere else, I wouldn't be putting in the effort. I wouldn't be putting in the practice. I wouldn't be making the portfolio that I'm making now that I know will, again, and in some way be beneficial to me and advantageous at some point. So I think like just like love the place you're in and like really try to do that, because there's so much, everything is so amazing all the time, and
yeah,
I'm so inspired by everything constantly.
yeah,
And I think if you can kind of like live in that zone, then you won't feel this pressure of pure achievement all the time. You will just kind of like naturally flow there.
yeah. And I mean, I'm guessing you have to have a comfort with, people saying no and not letting that
Oh
get
yeah.
to your self-esteem. Because
Yeah.
I mean, there's been hundreds of auditions.
Hundreds of auditions, and like also I've had a few managers. Like when I was younger, I had an agent drop me. When I was a few years ago, I had a manager drop me.
Yeah,
And because I am so multi stuff, like that they didn't know what to do with me.
yeah, yeah,
They're like, we don't know how to market you. We don't know, like you're so it seems unfocused at times, which I understand.
yeah,
Now I'm with an agency that another one in New York, and they were like, wow, you do a lot of stuff. And they're
yeah,
like, great, cool. Like we'll figure this out.
yeah,
So it's also about like finding people who believe in you,
yeah,
because tons of people won't, and that's not your problem,
yeah,
and it's okay. And I mean, it's okay for people to interpret what you do in a way that is, I guess, antithetical to what you believe.
yeah,
So it's about finding people who just trust that you know what you're doing and trust in your abilities.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, guess I was gonna ask about, is there like, someone that are you follow that has kind of modeled like everything that you're looking to achieve?
Um, there are people who have careers where I'm like, wow. And like I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge right now, I look at her and I'm like, this is unbelievable what you do. Also, I think her writing is like phenomenal. I just was so moved by Fleabag in a way that I haven't been moved by something in a really long time. And then I obviously binged all her other stuff.
Yeah.
I think she's fabulous. I think that I love Sarah Bareilles. I think that she has this way with words and this way with like connecting to people's emotion that is very effective and sincere and special. And I love that she has also been able to kind of traverse like TV and film and theater. I think people who I like Mindy Kaling, who writes her own stuff. Like I think I'm really attracted to people who write their own material and also maybe act in it, you know, who kind of who transcend multiple genres.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How is your um, like what's the day in the life of you know, prior to quarantine and then now post, like in quarantine? How is it?
Well,
How's
it depends. I mean, honestly, a lot of it is the same. Like, because I mean, I don't have shows at night. That's different. I don't have gigs at night. That's different. But a lot of it is like, okay, I wake up. I'm gonna make this sketch today. I'm gonna practice these scales today. I'm gonna write this song. I'm gonna record this song. Like, that's what my days generally are. And then sometimes it's like I have this, and now I just like don't have meetings, or now I just don't have auditions. Just like things like that. But otherwise, like the way that I keep myself busy is exactly the same.
yeah. Have auditions pretty much all like stopped?
Yeah, because production stopped.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the toughest thing about like audition? Just the memorization or the
No, definitely not the memorization. I think it's the auditions. It's harder because you're reading with somebody who is not an actor. So like I can be reading with somebody and I can be like doing a scene where I have just like been raped and like I'm crying and like it's really, and the other person across from you is like, how do you feel? You know what I mean? And then it's like, and you have to kind of emote from that. And that's your catalyst, like to galvanize you. And so that can be challenging because it's so much then, you know, you have to make it for yourself. And it's just like the pressure of this is it, you know, like, but I think I've kind of also gotten better at that a bit to also say I would like to do this again, which I used to never say.
yeah.
And if I felt like I didn't give it my best shot, and also to treat it like, you know, it's funny because in an audition, it's actually the only time it's really going to be yours, because by the time you get cast, they're going to want it a certain way. You're going to be in different clothes. You're going to be a character that they've kind of prescribed to you. So your audition is kind of just like very much purely your interpretation as purely as that could be.
Yeah. I guess what else? Um, I guess. Sorry, I am.
You're fine. You're fine.
Just trying to think of where else people would find value.
Mhm.
I guess have you your thoughts on the industry? You know, people have said in recent years that you know there's been a move to diversify and have more you know female representation and things like that. Have you seen any of that?
For sure, definitely. I mean, to the point where like I don't can't get cast as easily, which is okay because I'm a white woman and I should, you know, have it. They should be putting other diverse people in,
Yeah.
but like, you know, I can't go in for every role the way that might have been able to 10 years ago, which
Yeah.
is great. But yeah, definitely. I think they, and I think men also, the men that I know who are of my age range
Yeah.
probably look at women with more, I don't know, they take them more seriously than I think they might have, you know, again, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think that they're, especially probably as our generation rises, I mean, there's so many women who are like so fucking funny, so talented, like so driven. And
Yeah.
I think that I'm watching this meteor, how do you say that? Meteoric
Mm,
rise,
yeah.
meteoric,
Yeah.
like, and yeah, I'm watching them kind of take off. And so, and they don't seem to, I don't see anything preventing them. I can't foresee something getting in the way of that. So, and it's also like a lot of women, I think what's interesting in the comedy world is like a lot of women are super open, like sexually, and they're super, I don't know, they're just like really vulnerable in a way that I think that they kind of like empower themselves that way. And it's interesting to see how that has also kind of like risen to the forefront, and also, they've done so well in being so honest. And so I think that that's really cool too. So it's a lot of good stuff. I think it's very much real. I think it's totally happening. And I think that our generation is going to work to continue to make that the case.
Yeah. Is there is an actress or actor that if you met you'd just be like, I made it?
If I met or if I like worked with.
Or worked with, yeah.
I feel like I feel like Amy Adams is somebody who I'm like, I think she's a really great actress. Like, she's done a lot of different stuff. I think, yeah, and I mean, she kind of got a little bit of a late start, and she's just, I like watching her. I just like, I feel like she embodies what the emotion that I feel when I am viewing her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have any mentors, or are you just, is it kind of a lonely, I mean, outside of your agency, is it kind of
I
hard
mean,
to get?
no, I do. I mean, like, I've had some lovely people who have helped me along the way, for sure. I mean, really, for sure. I think I think you have to, and I have picked their brains like down to, the cellular level.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I have tons,
Yeah.
like tons, and I am always trying to like seek information from people. And that's also just like me in general, though. I think I just love kind of talking to people. So if it's somebody who's also in my business and who has been doing the same thing as me and or is pursuing, has been successful in that, like, I'm gonna freaking rip them apart to get some information, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Is there, I mean, what is driving you on a daily basis in terms of, you know, would you like to be, a full-time actress? Would you love to have your own late night comedy? I mean, do you think of it that way, or are you just,
I do a bit. I do think like, where would I go more so? And I think I would, I don't think I'll host a late night talk show. I don't think that's what I'll do,
yeah,
which would be great, but I don't think I think Marty, my partner,
yeah,
would kill that. I
yeah,
think I am probably more suited to be an actress
yeah,
in general, but I also like to write a lot. So that, I hope, would weave itself together in some way. Um, I just think that that's what I don't know, I just feel the most like called to that in a lot of ways, but I also feel like I manifest um what's going on around me in a kind of, I think I have the ability to do that in a somewhat articulate way or in a somewhat unique way.
yeah.
And so I think that that would hopefully, yeah, I would be able to carry that with me as well.
What's the best part about, you know, especially for someone like me who hasn't done much acting in my, what's the best part about, acting, and what's, I guess, the most fulfilling part about it?
Well, I think it depends on who you are as a person, because for some people it obviously would just be like tedious and like not um fulfilling by any means at all.
Yeah,
But I think for me it can be very cathartic because I'm very emotional,
yeah,
very emotionally driven. I'm also very sensitive, and I have a very good memory. So when I have to kind of tap into something, I I do that so naturally. Like, I'm so, in a way that can be bad almost. Like, I'm so retrospective and I go over my life so often and I analyze it to, to death.
yeah,
Um so when I have to do that as like an actor, it's easy because it's like I do that, so, it's commonplace.
yeah,
But I think, yeah, catharsis for some people, definitely. But also just like for me, again, it's just like it's just natural. It's just heightening like an experience that you've already had or tapping into it.
Got it. Got it. That's cool. Um, I guess that I was there anything else that
Those are good questions.
you want to talk about? Yeah, we. Uh, I guess. How has managing your personal life been? I mean, because I mean, like you talked about, you don't know your schedule. I mean, based on you know
Personal life, do you mean mostly just like social, or do you mean like romantic, or both?
friendships, romantic. I mean,
Yeah.
because like you said, like you might get a job for 6 months in Boston, at
Mhm.
and then like so like how has that been?
Yeah,
Have you been
interesting.
able
Well,
to?
I have, I think the people that I have some really good friends, and like I have some friends that I've known forever, and so I definitely rely on those as like a solid ground because I will always, always have them. I have a ton of great friends. Like there's so many people in my life who I'm just so thankful to have,
Yeah,
and they have remained consistent because I like really I pride myself in a lot of ways in being a good friend, and I that's like my number one thing. Like I absolutely cherish some of these relationships that I have.
yeah,
Um and yeah, and so I think a lot of it is like I'm really good friends with people who I do a lot of creative stuff with. So if I'm working on a project with somebody, then I'll probably end up being really close friends with them.
yeah,
And that naturally kind of just like lends itself to, well, I guess I'll be spending more time with them, or,
yeah,
people I work with. Um, and then like romantically, like I tried to do a Hinge for a second. And this winter I was like, I'm 25, like I might as well like go out on a date. And it was just uh, like it was fine. But I also feel like what's so interesting about, and what I think a lot of people are finding about these apps sometimes, is that you cannot, on paper, somebody might look perfect for you, but you
yeah,
can't predict for chemistry.
yeah,
And so that can just kind of go like under the radar.
yeah,
And so the people that I generally have the most chemistry with are people who I kind of tend to meet just like, through a friend or through the business that I'm doing, because it's just like, it's a similar vibe or it's similar energy and interest. And so, that's what really connects people. But and like it's amazing that people can do that and find people on an app, and I'm totally supportive. But for me,
yeah,
I think it probably won't work that way.
yeah. Is there a uh, theater show or that you'd love to like be a lead in? That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think like forever. I mean, since I was like 5,
Yeah,
I always wanted to be in Les Mis.
yeah,
Always, always, always.
yeah, yeah,
So I think like, and I never have,
yeah,
weirdly, but I just like the Eponine or Fontaine role. I just think is like they're both really powerful in kind of almost like contrasting ways. And I just think that play is. I think Victor Hugo is like unreal. And I was just going through. I haven't finished Les Mis, but I have like have a bunch of his like quotes just in like kind of journaled.
yeah,
And sometimes I just read them over and I'm like, wow, how profound! Like just a man who just had this ability to reflect in this way that is again like so beyond like normalcy.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, I think his stuff is unbelievable. I think on the same vein, I think Hunchback is another amazing musical. I
yeah.
don't think I would be able to play Esmeralda because I'm white, but who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
What were some TV shows or that you grew up loving? I see the
I
Friends.
wasn't allowed to watch Cartoon Network, so I watched like a lot of the old TV shows. So I watched like Happy Days and like I Love Lucy and like Get Smart.
Yeah,
That's what I mostly watched growing up.
yeah,
And then yeah, and then I watched a lot of like musicals, obviously. So I watched like Oklahoma 1,000 times, like The Sound of Music 1,000 times, the Cinderella with Brandy 100,000 times.
yeah.
So that kind of stuff over and over and over again.
Do you see more production auditions for the streaming platforms now? I mean, because
Yeah,
years ago,
definitely.
yeah,
which also is changing. It used to be like a pilot season would pop up like in January, and then that would kind of go through maybe like April.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like more evenly dispersed because there's so much content, and it doesn't necessarily matter when it gets picked up and put on the platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's totally dependent.
Cool. Cool. Thank you. Was there anything you wanted to?
No, you did great. You got it all.
Yeah, sounds
I
good.
have nothing left to say.
Yeah, cool, cool. So, how can people support you? Where can they see
Okay.
your comedy sketches and things like that?
Well, I kind of use my Instagram for everything, which is Portu is right for you, which is my slogan as vice president in high school. And so, yeah, I think that I do have a YouTube. You can do that.
Yeah,
It's kind of the same stuff. And then I hopefully will be releasing some legit music soon, and that will be on Spotify under the same name. So, yeah.
awesome, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Very nice to. I guess we've maybe met.
I don't think we like. I mean, I knew of you.
Yeah,
Like, because I had friends that were friends with you,
sure.
like,
Who?
like Jenna.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it was great.
Lovely to meet you
Yeah.
virtually.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you for doing this and enjoy the rest of your time. Stay sane, okay?
Yes, you too. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.